know that it can get pretty boring being cooped up in the house during this time, sitting in front of your camera screen all day for hours on end. So that's why we asked several Hopewell students what hobbies they've been doing in order to keep themselves sane. This could have been anything from hanging out with their pets or reading, playing games, anything to keep yourself happy.
One of my favorite hobbies is to draw, and I didn't really have a plan for this drawing. I just kind of went with whatever I felt like. I also enjoy playing lots of different instruments, but my favorite three are probably the ukulele, guitar, and the kalimba. I also like playing games. Here I was playing some good old Minecraft. I don't play PC as much as I play my Switch. I love my Switch much more than PC because it's a lot easier for me. I have a lot of games on my Switch, but the game I probably play the most is Dead by Daylight with 1,000 hours.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and I've been practicing during quarantine to stay sane. It's a great way to really focus in on something and feel like you're being productive in such an unproductive feeling time. And they say music's the pathway to the soul, and we all need a little soul work every now and then.
So something that I've done over this whole pandemic to keep me sane is perfect my ukulele skills and also binge watch Criminal Minds.
These are who keep me sane through these horrible times. This is Shady and this is Bugs. Yeah, they're great.
Inauguration Day is typically an event with hundreds of thousands or even millions of people in attendance. However, this year, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it will look a lot different than usual. According to the Biden team, the size of the ceremony will be extremely limited and that Americans should not travel to attend this year. However, there are around 100,000 available tickets for attending in person. These can be acquired by contacting your local representative. The parade that typically takes place after the inauguration ceremony will be virtual this year as well. There will also be an additional level of security at the inauguration, following the riot at the Capitol earlier this month. Far-right extremist groups are sending out more calls for violence surrounding Inauguration Day. To cope with this, thousands of National Guard members will also be staying in Washington, D.C. until the end of the month. On January 8th, President Trump posted on Twitter that he would not be attending the inauguration. This is most likely because he does not believe that Joe Biden should be the next president, and that the election was not safe and effective, although the election results have been reviewed and certified many times. This will be the first time that the previous president has not attended the inauguration in over 150 years, which will make for a bit of an awkward scenario. In conclusion, this inauguration day is sure to be different in many ways.
Okay, my New Year's resolution is to be the best mom for Roland.
Aww.
Because
He deserves it.
he's like the best thing in my whole life right now. So
That's awesome.
being a good mom.
Good.
Hi, my name's Alexis, and my New Year's resolution would be to become more organized by setting my priorities straight and getting a better schedule.
My New Year's resolution is to have more patience with Janet.
My name is Janet, and my New Year's resolution is to not fail.
Hi, this is Mr. Allison. Happy New Year, everyone. My New Year's resolution is to get out from behind this desk, move around a lot more, do some walking, and hopefully lose some of this gut that I've been carrying around that I don't need. Have a great New Year, everyone. See you soon.
My New Year's resolution is to read 3 books every month for the entire year. And I think I'm already behind schedule.
Hi, I'm Vienna. I'm a senior at Hopewell, and I decided to interview a couple of my friends and family to ask them questions about 2020 and the new year. So the first thing I asked was, how did 2020 affect you? Secondly, I asked, what did you learn from the crazy events of 2020? And then thirdly, I asked, how are you different from now compared to the beginning of 2020? So these are their responses.
Hey, my name's Tyler. 2020 affected me because college was all online. I was able to move in, but I couldn't go to any in-person classes. And then track was canceled, so that was a bummer. One thing I've learned is that you have to get over things that you can't control yourself and just do the best you can for things you can control. And I honestly would say I haven't really changed much since 2020.
Hi, my name is Mallory, and I would have to say that 2020 affected me mainly in sports because we never really knew when our season was going to start, stop. It was just really uncertain. I learned a couple of lessons, but the main one would have to be being patient with your family, especially with everyone being home all the time. It can be pretty frustrating, and you just have to stay patient. I would say I'm different now compared to the start of 2020 because I think I'm more of a homebody now because my family's home and I love spending time with them.
2020 has affected me a lot through the coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic has been quite an interesting transition from being able to go anywhere or do anything to having to stay home completely isolated from society. For the past couple months, I have been limited to the few activities that can be done around my house, including playing basketball or playing video games. I've also been doing chores such as washing dishes, folding laundry, and cleaning my house. A lesson that I learned is that you have to adapt to any type of situation that life may give you. And I am different this year compared to 2020 because I don't take things for granted as much. Towards the beginning of the coronavirus, I had no idea that stores would be shut down and I would be under a full lockdown in my house.
Hi, I'm Michael, Vi's favorite cousin. 2020 affected me pretty negatively, but I also got some positives out of it. I wasn't able to do the normal things that we do every day, but I was also just able to spend some time at home with my family, so that was good. The biggest lesson that I learned for sure was to appreciate the small things that we have, because after COVID hit, we really realized all the little things that we weren't able to do anymore, and if things get back to normal, I'm going to appreciate those little things a lot more. And personally, I've changed, I guess, myself, just being more confident in myself and comfortable with myself because I was spending so much time with myself. So yeah, those are my answers.
Hello, I'm Peyton Rock, and today I brought a special guest, Isabella Tampano, onto my Minecraft server, and we discussed childhood and the effects of gaming on said childhood. Hello, thank you for being here. Now to start off, what games did you play growing up?
Yeah, I played games as a kid a lot with my family. A lot of what we did was that we would just play. We had the Wii, the Wii U. That was a lot of what my family did. We moved around a little bit. I wouldn't say we moved a lot, but we moved enough that it was noticeable. I lived in Ohio from when I was 1 to 6, so that was right into kindergarten. It was hard to make some friends, and yeah, so through all of it, I played Mario Kart and Wii stuff with my family.
Yeah. With the situation we're in regarding the pandemic, do you think that gaming has been affected at all, or even in the slight, by quarantine and just the pandemic as a whole?
Oh yeah, and gaming now and playing at home. I got an Xbox through all of this because I was in the band and I was gonna go to Disney, and that was kind of how my parents I'm sorry your Disney trip got canceled. Hopefully this helps you feel a little better. So yeah, I've started playing Minecraft and GTA 5 and The Sims, COD, Siege, all those kinds of things. Yeah, and I play it with my boyfriend. It's a great way to, my friends, everything. It's a great way to communicate and feel just that little bit more connected through all this quarantine crap.
Thank you for joining me today. Have a great one.
And that's how you pump gas.
Are you a senior suffering from senioritis? Or maybe you're a junior scared of getting senioritis? Many people think it's not real, but it is. 78% of students that are in college and in high school suffer from this. The symptoms are very simple. They start dropping their grades and they don't even do their work. They even start skipping, and this can lead to complications in the future. If you decide to go to college and you don't have the grades, then you're not going to get accepted because you decided that college wasn't for you back then. There are ways of handling this, and it's very simple. The first thing you need is motivation. There's not a lot of motivation right now due to the pandemic, and everybody's in virtual. But I promise you, there are ways to get past this. The first step is to write down some goals. Start writing down the assignments that are past due, or assignments that need to be completed before the end of the semester or before you graduate. Make a plan of action. Stay organized. If you finish this goal, give yourself a little treat. Maybe watch your favorite show, or play a video game, or even read that book you've been meaning to read. Oh, but not for so long, because you need to get back to work. Have a friend keep you motivated. Since there's not a lot of motivation, have somebody text you and make sure you get your goals done. Have them bother you too. Otherwise, it's not going to be very effective. And the last thing you need to do is study. Study for at least 20 minutes per day, or every other day. This way you can get your mind going, and that way you can finish those tests and get an A. And that way you'll feel so accomplished, and all that anxiety will just fly away. Senioritis is a real thing once again. It can cause anxiety, stress, depression, and many other things. You feel like you're not getting your things done as simply, and you're going to have people on your back, such as your parents or your school counselor. If you need help more, then talk to your school counselor about this, or even a therapist that you might already see. This can help you reach your goals and help you get into a better college and have a more successful life. Thank you for staying.
Hello, my name is Nate Miller, and today I will be giving you my 2021 NFL playoff and Super Bowl 55 predictions. Starting off in the AFC. The Chiefs are seeded first in the NFC, so they will get a first round bye. The first game is the 2-seeded Bills versus the 7-seeded Colts. I believe that the Bills will advance. The 3-seeded Steelers will go up against the 6-seeded Browns, and I believe that the Steelers will advance. And then the 4-seeded Titans and 5-seeded Ravens will go up against each other, and I believe that the Titans will advance. Then in the divisional round, I believe that the Chiefs will advance against the Titans, and that the Bills will advance against the Steelers. And then in the AFC Championship, I predict that the Buffalo Bills will move on to Super Bowl 55 to face their NFC opponent. In the NFC, the Packers are seeded at 1, so they will get a first round bye. In the game against the 2-seeded Saints and the 7-seeded Bears, I believe that the Saints will move on. In the game that pits the 3-seeded Seahawks against the 6-seeded Rams, I believe that the Rams will move on, performing an upset. And I believe that the Buccaneers will move on against the Washington football team, performing another upset. In the divisional round, I believe that the Packers will beat the Rams, and I also believe that the Saints will beat the Buccaneers. And in the NFC Championship, the New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers. I believe that the Green Bay Packers will move on to Super Bowl 55 to face the Bills. And now here it is, the moment of truth, Super Bowl 55. By a final score of 43-38, I believe that the Buffalo Bills will be your Super Bowl 55 champion.